copied it off and typed it. All right.
3, 2, 1, Larry.
How are you, everyone? Welcome to the Big Idea podcast. Anyone that's heard me yammer on and on about how much I love humans and how much I keep at arm's length AI will understand that we're trying to do a show with a very good friend of mine, Paul Meijer. You've all heard of his wondrous training techniques and watched him enjoy many meals. So, of course, we've used every device known to man, and we've worn out all of Apple's resources. So we're going to translate a little bit for Paul. His audio might be a little low, but he's the same terrific guy that you've known for years. What may not be commonly known other than see him dine is he goes all over the country and he helps motivate and give practical application training both to sales and service departments. So we're really thrilled to have him. We're not the least bit put off by technical difficulties because let's face it, in our world and in our business, if you can't handle some problems, you got problems to begin with. Paul, can you hear me a little bit, my friend? Now we got two of you. Your mother would be so happy. There's twins, two different people to love.
Oh my God. Let's see here. Or bring me on the other one.
There you are.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you guys hear him? Perfect. Perfect. It's the common complaint of a guy that's been married as long as Paul. He's speaking, but he wants to make sure somebody can hear him. It's okay.
My friend David Kokenauer says it's technology. It works 70% of the time. The other 30% of the time, you just kind of have to deal with it.
That works for me. Paul, I think most of the people in our industry, because you're friendly and you're outreaching, and again, you're a fanatic with taking pictures of your meals, knows you. But in case they don't, tell us exactly what you do, how you do it. We know you love to travel. We know you love to enjoy good food. Tell us exactly, if nobody's ever heard of you, which I doubt, what it is you do on a day-to-day basis that makes this industry better.
All right. It's quite a story. Well, I think it's quite a story anyway. I'm very fortunate. I'm in 3 industries that I absolutely love. Most people have trouble finding one. I happen to have found 3. So my day-to-day consists of I'm in dealerships, and I work with executive staff. I work with dealer principals, general managers, GSMs, fixed ops directors, all the leaders in the store, and I work with them to improve process and to streamline operations so that they become more profitable. Right now I'm doing a bunch of hiring and retention workshops. And, that's something that everybody struggles with, finding the right help. That's no stranger to you, Larry, because you do that very well for folks.
Keep in mind, I'm pro poor retention, just so we're on the record. And Mr. Larkin, who's a top-notch F&I guy, and Mike, who's a hell of an AI guy, aren't we all equally amazed this late in the game that you still see breakdowns in processes no matter what damn dealership you go to? And the more they talk up how good their processes are, they're the ones that need to look the hardest at it. Go ahead, Paul.
So I work with the executive staff. I also am fortunate. I'm in the restaurant world. So restaurants hire me to create content for them and to bring them customers.
Hold on again, Paul. Anybody that doesn't know you, if Paul was anorexic, he'd lose 90% of his posts. Okay? He shows one picture of a guy selling 2 cars and then 19 pictures of a 9-course meal. I famously said that if I get convicted of murder and they say you can have one last meal, I said, no problem. I'm having Paul Meijer cater it. That'll be good for at least 11 or 12 days.
So the restaurants have me come, eat, post content, and then they get customers from it. And then third, we're in the yarn space. We have a retail yarn store that ships yarn all over the world. And what's really interesting and great about those 3 different businesses is that a lot of times people think, well, that's kind of random. None of these are connected. But the funny part is I use all 3 industries in my training because everything relates to the people that you're dealing with, regardless of what the product is. So I'm very fortunate. I'm in store by day. I unwind with a 3-hour dinner hour at nighttime. And in between things, I'm the CMO of our yarn shop and create content. And to give you an idea on how well content works is, I went to one of our fiber events, shot some content, put it on YouTube. There was a USA premiere of a new product coming out, the Likey Flight Needles. I created some artwork, put it on YouTube. Within a very short period of time, over 10,000 views. I linked it to the website for pre-orders. Now we lead the yarn business in Likey Flight Needle sales, and we sell them all over the world. We have people from Singapore buy from us.
Oh, hold on. He keeps saying we. For anybody that hasn't had the pleasure, his wife is one of the smartest, sweetest people you'll ever meet. So when he says we, he's referring to himself and his wife. They do wondrous work together, and man, do they have fun couple to hang around with.
Paul and Paulette, you can't make that up.
Mike, maybe
Question for you guys.
Maybe we should rename. Can we rename? Hold on,
I was
saying, can we? Well, that's because I got him on the phone. Can we rename Gary Silman Mikette? Because maybe if Paul and Paulette took over the yarn world, maybe Mike and Mikette might work. And if we get somebody drunk, they might think it's Tina Turner and the Ikettes. I'm sorry, Paul. My brain tends to wander. The meds are kicking in.
It does.
Mike, can you not hear?
I'm hearing a 2-second delay. So I'm hearing a 2-second delay, guys. So when somebody talks, I hear them again.
Interesting.
I don't know if it's going to come out like that live or not, but
Anybody that's out there, if there's a slight delay, we apologize. Man, it was one of these deals where we locked everything in perfectly, and for some unknown reason, we just couldn't quite iron out Paul's audio. It's similar to the ghost in the machine when you bring your car out and they work on it and it's perfect, and you go 3 miles away from the dealership and the noise comes in. So please bear with us. Paul's got a ton of good stuff to tell us, and bear with us for some little technical difficulties. Paul, where are you seeing the most room for improvement, and where do you see yourself falling in and helping them improve the most?
So the biggest issue I see is the sales to service handoff. The sales department does a fairly decent job in selling the car, but they don't see it as a long-term proposition. A lot of the salespeople today are younger, and they've entered into our business around COVID, and they're I want the business now type of people, right? They don't see big picture long-term. When I was coming up in sales, I always saw value in nurturing developing a relationship, nurturing one, and then doing follow-up. And I mean strict follow-up. I had one customer bought a GX470 from me at Lexus. I followed up religiously. Emails, phone calls, text messages. Not once did I hear back from this lady. One day on a Saturday, she shows up. I said, "Oh, I thought something happened to you because I've been speaking with your answering machine for several years now, and I never heard back." And she said to me, "No, I got all of your messages, and I appreciate them. I'm just very busy, and there was never a problem with the car, so I didn't really feel the need to call you back. But the fact that you followed up with me as well as you did is why I'm back here today. I want to get a brand new version of the model that I bought from you a few years ago because it's been great." The salespeople today, they don't see it the same way. It seems as though once the sale is made, they're done. They're out of the picture. They don't want to follow up anymore because they don't think the customer is going to buy anything from them anytime soon. So the big breakdown is in the sales to service handoff. That, for me, is where you set the customer up for success and you set the dealership up for success. Because let's face it, 7 in 10 of our dealer customers defect to the aftermarket at the first point of defection, which is when they need tires.
Yeah.
And the funny part is, I'll ask my dealers, "Hey, how's your tire business?" And they tell me, "Well, it's not so good. There's no money in it, and we can't compete with the aftermarket." And that's not really true. because they're very competitive today. Some of the aftermarket shops even charge more for their tires. What they're not good at is letting their customers know that they're in the tire business. I have a very good friend of mine. He bought his Honda Ridgeline at the local dealership. He does all of his servicing there. And while we were on the way to dinner, he tells me that, I just bought new tires at Pep Boys today. And I looked at him funny. I said, Alex, I thought you did all your servicing at the dealer. Get this. He says to me, my dealer doesn't do tires. Larry, have you been into any dealership that doesn't do tires?
No, but I've been in a lot of dealerships where the customers don't realize they do tires because they don't emphasize it. Gary Silman, you're not going to. Gary and I have a lot of hard talks about how we can fix the industry and how sad it is. I still go into dealerships where the service walk isn't mandatory, where it's like it doesn't exist. It's got to be an awareness. Shakespeare referred to it as foreshadowing. You kind of throw something out there, and later on it becomes an integral part of the plot. I just was in a meeting with managers, great dealership group, and he brought me in with a meeting with his service and his sales managers. And I said to the service guys, they were super good guys, lean on your salespeople. They said, what do you mean? I said, well, you often call to say, how are you doing? Do you have any customers for sales? Congratulations on your daughter graduating if it's the CRM. Remind them about our service. Remind them about the fact that there's no chance of voiding your warranty if you go to a factory authorized dealer. Remind them of the fact of how competitive we are and how anxious we are. This is older than the car business. Probably somebody told it to Henry Ford. If you don't ask, the answer is always no. And in political science, they ask if a tree falls in an empty forest, does it make any noise? Somebody always raises their hand, and the teacher usually says, how do you know if we don't make noise, if we're not proud of that? Because I'll tell you one thing, Paul, you said something that struck a chord with me. They don't think about long-term business. If they don't think about long-term business, they won't have any damn long-term business. You talk about a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Hey,
I got to jump to Silman for 1 second. It may be a little hard to hear, too. Gary is an F&I expert and has been doing this thing. It's scary. I think he helped Moses count up how many commandments there were. But he'll tell you that the downside of pounding somebody into an 84-month finance is you look great when you're counting that day's profit and horrible when they come back in 3 years to get a new car and you've just made an enemy. Would you agree with that, Mr. Silman, before we jump back to Mr. Meijer?
Absolutely.
But what Paul's saying is the heartbeat, we don't like to admit it, the heartbeat of the dealership is service. Because once they stop going there, they defect with us from the sales end too. It's a steady stream of income. It's also an opportunity for your salesman to go back and greet them. I always like to make as many service appointments for my customers as I could. I didn't want them out of pocket, and I wanted to be their indispensable guy. Go ahead, Paul. I just wanted to throw everybody's thoughts in because we talk about this all the time when you're not on.
So I want to ask Paul a question and just kind of phrase it.
Gary's a little hard to hear on your end, but he's got a question. Throw it at me, Garrett. If you can't hear it, I'll repeat it.
I heard him about the younger salespeople on the floor and that they're not so interested in building long term. When he's doing his training, what is senior management? What are they saying? I mean, it's really up to them to really train and coordinate. But we've seen for so many years, everybody just kicks the can down the road. What are they wanting to do? I mean, you're consulting them, so I mean, the apple needs to fall right on the right side, and so we've watched kind of the disintegration of the customer service over the last 20 years. We watched it fade. Well, now, we've got nice, big, beautiful buildings, and consumers demand great service or they're not coming to you. So the senior management needs to start paying a lot more attention to what's going on between that handoff. Because, if dealers want to survive today, they have a great place where they can mine for deals in their own CRM, and then they build their own customers back the right way. And, so you know, I know I just fed a lot out there, and Larry can translate it down. I'm just curious to see where the management's head. I mean, I know when we have dealers that are driven, and the dealer is driving it, and it comes from them all the way down. But then we also watch a lot of GMs with no steam, and no wonder why the dealership can't move forward.
We work with management to try to change how they approach this, okay? Management wants them to do the follow-up. But a lot of management, they think more of, if they don't do it, how do we punish them? As opposed to, I like to flip the script. Let's show them what the benefit is to them. If we can show them and get them to buy in what the benefit is, then they'll be doing it for them. If they have to, nobody cares about anything until they know what's in it for them. If they have to do it for you, they're not going to do it. I also work with them to set accountability. Okay, I believe in rewarding for a job well done, but you can't expect them to know what you want them to know. You have to show them. All right.
There needs to be a pathway, there needs to be a training, and there needs to be accountability.
Hey, but both of you guys, think about how sad our mindset is that CSI is perceived as a way for the dealer to get money from the OEM and salespeople to get money for their spins. Shouldn't CSI be, I want to keep my customer happy so they'll bring me more customers? You talk about missing the target.
Well, it seems that today young men and women can come into the car business, and if they're trained properly, like Larry's training them to have confidence in yourself, in 5 years, they may be making $70,000, $80,000, and they have a nice lifestyle, and they're not in debt because they went to college for 4 years and learned nothing and then had bought. So the auto industry, it seems that there's a lot more work needed in the showrooms, but management needs to start embracing it and not allowing bad works, as Mike Larkin will say.
Paul, are you seeing or suggesting certain ways to incentivize? I mean, obviously we want to get into their mindset, but you're right. It's always everybody works their pay plan.
Right. We have to show them what's in it for them, okay? And let's face it, it's getting to be more challenging now than it was before. So they have to really put it into numbers, basically. They have to figure out how many customers they need to speak to develop how many appointments, and of that, what percentage is going to buy. Now, if they wait for the customer to come in by themselves, it's not going to work. Two of the most underutilized resources today are social media and Google. All right? With a show of hands on the screen here, how many of us look something up on Google or do a search before going into a store?
Hell, Google's now a verb.
Yeah.
Right?
I need to talk to ChatGPT.
And ChatGPT, but guess what? Fun fact, ChatGPT gets their information from Google, from Bing, from Yahoo, from all of these online sources. All right? So I work with the stores to develop reporting. Now, every OEM has some sort of an internal dashboard that they look at to see how they did with the customers that purchased from them. And a lot of these OEMs have a dashboard that tells them why some of their customers went and bought from a competing dealer. I'm interested in knowing if I'm moving into an area and I don't know you exist, I want to know that whether it's AI or Google or Bing or any of these places, that they are sending traffic to me as a store and me as a salesperson. So when I say that Google and social media is underutilized, they say, oh, would you give us a review? Sure, we will. But when I look at their opportunities over and over, if you count up all of the customer-facing ROs and you count up all the cars they sell, both new and used, stores average anywhere from 1.5% to 3% of those paying customers that will give them a review on Google. If a store's really crushing it, it'll be 5% of their paying customers. To me, that's a 95% failure rate.
Plus.
Hey, wait, hey, Paul, I just realized,
Yeah.
look how backward we've gone, because we were all in the industry when they sold us on the idea of take a picture of your customer with the car or with you in the car. Now they wanted to put it on the refrigerator. Now they wanted to post. No, did you turn into a vampire, or did I say something that didn't make sense?
That's what's known as the hostage photo. The hostage photo, and you'll see, Mike, you're laughing because you heard about this when we went to dinner. The hostage photo.
Wait a minute, breaking news. Paul Meijer held Mike Larkin hostage. The only reason Mike didn't call the police, he's never been so well fed in his whole life.
It was that New Haven pizza.
The hostage photo is the typical photo that every dealer does, where they have the salesperson hand the customer the key, or a different version of it. After seeing 500 of those, I promise you, nobody's looking at them.
No, but Paul, I'm not saying the end result. I'm saying the fact that at least we did something that made the customer want to push it. Obviously, there's better ways with social medias and videos, but to get away from the fact that people are proud to talk about their car and who sold it to them and where they get it serviced is a negative. Definitely, that technology is old. I wasn't referring so much to the technology, but that we've gotten so far away from tying in current business with future business.
Well, here's the interesting part about it, right? If you're on social media and you see a friend of yours has a short video online, what are the odds that you're going to watch that video? Pretty good.
Yeah.
Sure. It's your friend.
Right? But if you see the same photo, we need to differentiate ourselves from all the other dealerships. So if all the other dealerships are doing the hostage photo,
You need to do something different.
we need to do something different. Here's what I like, okay? Ask them why. Find your best customers. And it's very easy. You go into your DMS, you find your best customers. Now what you want to do is you want to sort to those customers in your DMS that create video content on social media. Because the customers that create video content on social media have a following. And whatever they say and put out there,
It's going to get seen.
their friends will go. All right. I have perfect strangers. I'll go to a restaurant, I'll post content, and complete strangers. I'll get 50,000 people interact with my posts in the restaurant space, and the restaurant goes gaga because now they're engaging with all the customers, engaging with my content. On Google, 776 million people have viewed my restaurant content. So they're getting business from the exposure. So going back to the video.
Whoa. I got to ask you a technical question because I'm a little dumb. So you're telling me that for even if it's a fancy $300 meal, you figured out a way to market this better than dealers have who are selling $50, $60, $100,000 cars. How crazy is that paradigm?
Yeah. So find your best customers, see them, find the ones that are creating video content, and now look at their service history. But a good service history, great. Now you find out when they're coming in for service next. And you meet them at that time. Hey, Paul, it's great to see you. You know, I was taking a look to see who was coming in for service today, that I saw your name was on their list. I took the liberty of checking your service history. Looks like it's been a great car. You come in a couple of times for service. You had a brake job done last September. You know, there's something I've been meaning to ask you. What is it about what we do for you that inspires that kind of confidence? Can you tell me 30 to 60 seconds why you come here? And they'll be happy to tell you why they come there. And at that point, you already know they're content creators. They create videos online that a lot of people look at. At that point where they tell you why they come in, that's like, wow, that's powerful. Can we share that on our Facebook? Let me share something with you. No pun on the share. Content creators like and always are looking for new places to share their content. It's just who they are. So if you ask them why they come to you and they tell you, you ask them right away, why do you come to us? They say, can we share it on our Facebook or YouTube, whatever the case may be? they're probably going to say yes. And at that point, you take out your phone, which you can shoot in 4K, selfie mode. You don't have to say, hey, I'm with Larry over in the service department at XYZ Motors. No. If it's a service-related video, you have the shop in the background of the service drive. If it's a sales-related video, you have the showroom in the background. Hey, and the selfie mode, go, 30, 60 seconds. Hi, I'm with Larry. Hey, Larry, why do you come here? And then Larry looks dead into the camera and says exactly in 30 to 60 seconds what he loves about you and the dealership. And that's it. And then whoever does your posting, share that throughout social media. You can also share that on your website. You can also share that in your web lead. So when the lead comes in, I'm looking for this model, year, make, and model, this color, these options. You can answer all their questions, add in did you know it was a 5-year best pick on safety, yada, yada, yada. And we're a great dealership, but don't take our word for it. This is what Larry has to say. And then there's a video of Larry, 30 to 60 seconds, what he loves about your place. Instead, what we see is, hi, I'm Joe Blow, and we have a fantastic dealership, and we do a great job.
Yeah. Paul, that is, it's brilliant. It's brilliant the way you just articulated it. And, you know, we've had other guests come on and talk about, you know, other ways. You know, you got the guys that are talking about appraising everybody's car and when they're in the service drive and just appraise it. And the more you appraise, the more cars you buy. But you're absolutely right, is that customers and people are all on social media. And the social media today is the distribution channel that you want to be on, because that's the visibility. That's where they can do their own research and build their own trust and confidence. So as long as your content is up to date and upbeat, we've been talking to a bunch of these places, and the dealers that are embracing video and then embracing supporting their good people, boy, it's like you watch these, Brian Ortega from Beaver Toyota, and they do stuff like that, and they make their people celebrities. So customers want to come in, and they're following them, and they're watching them. And that is the organic leads that you can generate, that you'll close more deals than buying all these goofy lists of prospects that you're calling and you're hounding.
And you're expanding your reach. Hey, folks, this is not his only good idea. Paul Meijer has about 1 million good ideas. Paul, you've got your number flashing on the screen. Is that the easiest way for people to reach you if they want to engage you and reach out?
Yeah. That, or just message through LinkedIn, or that's the easy way. Just pick up the phone and call. That's the best way. But to add to another way to get more customers, as I started saying, is I help the dealers create a report that shows outside of the dealership and you can do this in AI. You can create a report that says, you know, what am I doing well? What do I need to improve on? Who are my key players that are doing a good job delivering on our messaging? And who are the ones that need more training? All right. I want you to analyze the following data, and I like 90-day increments. If I take the last 90 days of Google reviews, that's a pretty good sentiment as to what's out there. So in that analysis report that I help dealers create, they can see exactly how they're doing, what the customer sentiment is, what the dealer response sentiment is. Are they trending upwards or downwards? What are some of the key things that are mentioned? What are some of the key words and phrases that are used, and how does that relate to appealing to a new customer that doesn't know them? So you go into Google, you hit reviews, you click newest, copy the last 90 days worth of reviews, and paste it into that report, hit bam. It'll tell you everything you need to know, including what some of the better keywords are that people are searching for. So now it gets really good. When you want to solicit a Google review, don't just say, hey, would you give us a review? And the customer says, yeah, we'll take care of that. Or, Google review concept. We have a company that we pay, and they email our customers. Wonderful. None of that works. The best possible way, Larry, let's say best widget purchase near me is one of the top key searches, all right? So before that customer leaves with their brand new widget, I'm going to, first of all, I've got a good relationship with the customer. Hey, Larry, was this not the best widget purchase near you ever? What are you going to say, no? You're going to say, yeah. At that point, you don't ask him for a review. You tell him what to do. Hey, Larry, do me a favor. Take out your phone. Open the camera app. I want you to aim at this right here. It's a QR code. The QR code that takes you to my Google My Business page. Okay? When you touch that link, it takes you to 5 empty stars. So the customer says, ooh, he wants a review. Now cortisol levels go up because you're asking them for a review. They don't know what to write. The reason you set it up properly is, Larry, was this not the best widget near you? And Larry says yes. At the exact moment in time that they touch that link and the 5 stars open up, now the delivery is crucial. Hey, Larry, I hope I've done a great job for you. Can you help me with a 5-star Google review? And don't overthink it, man. You just agreed this was the best widget purchase near you. Why don't you just share that and put my name next to it? That's it. And as long as they're not on our Wi-Fi. Right? How hard is that? Now they're in the review. They've shared not just a 5-star review, but an SEO-rich Google review, and it's immediate. So when some Joe or Jane comes into the neighborhood, doesn't know who you are, and they're doing the same search, if Google's blown up with everybody saying the best purchase is at your dealership, Larry, or the best rate job is at your dealership, whatever the key terms are, they're going to send more business to your store, not because they like you, because Google could care less. But all they want is when somebody asks them, hey, how'd you find out about Larry in that dealership? Oh, I found
visibility. Visibility and doing it and exposure. And Larry does a beautiful job with his training because, he always has somebody, doing a review. So it's on the money. It's wonderful.
Paul, I've got a question for you. With your training, and I've been hounding people when I ask them. The first question I ask them is, do you have your mission, vision, values written out, documented for not just you in going forward and knowing the direction you want to go, but for all of your employees, so that you ever hear the term that team would run through a brick wall for that coaching staff? That's what that means. Have you kind of run into that? And the ones that do are winning. The ones that don't, I don't know why they don't, because it starts at the top. I mean, if you want to have your name in the building, don't you want to have your mission, vision, values, message brought out to the behavior of your people that represent that name in the building?
Mike, it's not being done because it's not being measured. If you're not measuring things, if you're not holding people accountable, and if you're not accountable yourself, you're not going to get anywhere. Expecting people to do things that you don't do or that you don't check up on them is never going to happen.
Well, that kind of defines their why. Why do you get up in the morning? I mean, are you excited about your job? And it's a new day. What you do today is going to affect tomorrow. And if that's your mindset, but that's got to be given to you. That's got to be managed.
Let me tell you, I was doing training the other day. Okay, I had, I think, 11 upper management in the room. While they were going over something that was on the screen, I said, I just need to use the facilities. I'll be back in a few minutes. When I came back into that room, they were all standing there. One, their marketing manager, who'd been there for decades, okay, has his hand extended out and has a box under his arm. And he said, I'd like to welcome you to our team. And he hands me this box that was mine to keep. It was a touching moment, man. I opened the box. In there is a book that was printed that shows everything that Mike Larkin's talking about, their vision, their values, everything, along with all of these employees, plus how many decades they've been with the dealer group and what they stand for. There's a pizza cutter in there. Why? Because we're a cut above the rest. A mug in there, a stainless steel quality mug with all of their OEMs on there. Not some cheesy thing you get on Timo, but a quality that they spend good money on, a T-shirt, and a few other things that just blew me away.
I just want it known for the record that Paul Meijer goes someplace and they give him a gift basket. I don't get my check to come to dealerships. I get my check to leave. Hey, Paul, Paul, if we're going to make sure the people that we touch base with reach out to you, the guy brings energy, the guy brings knowledge, the guy is sincerely dedicated to making his people better. On top of everything else, Mike and I have been friends with Gary for a long time. And, Mike and I have been friends with Paul a long time, and Gary's warming up to him like a son of a gun. So reach out to Paul Meijer. You won't be sorry. And by the way, since he was kind enough to jump on our show, he's got a dynamite show every Sunday night at 8 p.m. on LinkedIn, Eastern Standard Time. He has tremendous guests that range from advertisers to service people. He's a guy you want to know and you want to get together with. We can't thank you enough. We're sorry if we had any technical challenges, but Paul, on behalf of Gary and Mike, we appreciate the heck out of you. We look forward to seeing you.
Hold on. One last piece I want to add in there, because we only got partially into it. I just want to finish it. Right?
Okay, sure.
So attracting the people is one thing. Now the sales to service handoff is, as I said, where you set them up for success, right? Nobody cares about anything until they know what's in it for them. So the sales to service handoff needs to be a very simple one. Customers are busy. Everybody here is busy. So you need to say to the customer, hey, we appreciate you considering us if they haven't purchased yet, or we want to thank you for purchasing from us. Here's a couple of things what we do for you when you come in for service. We look after the safety and performance of your vehicle every time you come in, and let me give you a couple of examples. The first one is we look at tires. We check your tires every time, because most customers don't understand how tires relate to safety. If I ask anybody, do you know how much longer it takes to stop your car when it needs tires? Most people will not be able to tell me. So most customers don't know. So you need to find out how much longer does it take to stop the car when it needs tires. Mark that distance with a checkered flag. So when I'm doing my sales to service to handoff introduction, and I tell them we look after the safety and performance, and the first thing we look at is tires. You ask them, do you know how long it takes you to stop your car when you need tires? And they'll all say no. You see that checkered flag all the way over there? Yep. That's how much longer it takes you to stop. But the problem is, it's such a gradual wear, you won't notice it. And that's assuming you're not distracted while driving. You've never seen anybody drive down the road like this, have you?
Preacher's position.
They all do it, right? So now, right out of the gate, you've educated them on why it's important to come in, because I look for the tires every single time. Another thing we look at is we do a walk around the car with you, with a show of hands on the screen here. Who's driven down the road and heard something hit either the windshield or the car, or like a rock or something?
You have.
I come to the service department. I'm only getting in the driver's side and getting back in and out on the driver's side, not the passenger side. So now I've just come home from the dealership. My spouse is on the lawn and sees a chip on the side of my car. Oh, what's that? Oh, wow. I don't know. I just got back from the dealership. Now you go back to the dealership and say, hey, there's a chip in my car. The dealership takes photos. Oh, yeah, you think so, huh? Guess what? At 11 a.m., there's a picture of the chip in your face. Don't try to rip us off. What happens to the relationship? It goes sideways. So you show the customer, we walk around every time, and you ask them, did you ever have a rock hit your car? Great, because the chip here can easily be touched up for touch-up paint that's $20 or $30. If we don't catch it, rust happens. You got to do some sanding, some putty. Next thing you know, $1,200, $1,500. So those are just two of the things that we look at when you come in every time. So that gives them an idea as to why they should come to you. As soon as they leave, they get a video. The video explains what to expect the first time you come in for service, where to go, where to pull up, what's going to happen, the walk around, all of it. Before they come in for service, the next time you send them a service reminder, correct? When they get the service reminder, hey, just a quick reminder as to where to go when you come in and what to expect. So before they've even driven into the bay for service their first time, they heard it 3 times, and now when the service advisor walks up to them, hi, welcome to XYZ Motors. I see you're in for this service today. Were there any other concerns? Great. Hey, remember when you were in? Remember that flag over there at stopping us? Oh, yeah. Great. Here, come on out. Let me check the mileage. First thing you do is you check the tires, just like you told them 3 times prior. Hey, you're at 930 seconds. You're in great shape. Nothing to worry about. No other conditions? Great. Every time they come in, you're at 730 seconds, 530 seconds, 330 seconds. So they know you're in the tire business. Now you're not even thinking about anybody else. So now, before, let's say they come in August and they're going to need tires in November based on their driving habits. Now, I'd like to say to them, hey, based on your driving habits, the last 5 times you've come in, the tires have been great. But I just want to let you know, based on your driving habits, you'll probably need them in November. So if it's okay with you, I'd like to have you pop in October for us to take a peek. Tires typically run $800 to $1,000, depending on what's special. I want you to start putting some money aside so that you can just pay for it with your own money. Yeah, we do financing, but everybody's credit is already way up here. How would you feel if I looked out for you that way, Larry, or Mike, or Gary? Would
Absolutely.
you appreciate that?
Absolutely.
Right? And then you do one other thing. Now you sealed the deal. You created an opcode in your DMS that call it November tires, and you attach it to that customer's car. So now in October, when you run that code, no different than the client service codes, wouldn't it be cool if at the beginning of every month you had a complete list of everybody in your database that's going to need tires that month? You print the list. Hey, it's Paul at XYZ Motors. Hey, remember in August when you were in, I was calling to remind you to come pop in? More customers are going to come back in to have you double check that they need tires. And guess what? When the tires come off, you highly recommend an alignment that's $150 worth of mostly profit. And guess what? Might need brake work. So if you lose them, if you don't set them up for success that way, it's not going to win. But here's where management comes in. They need to set in motion an accountability process that guarantees that all of their customers get this introduction. If you want to skip some other steps, go ahead. But do not, I repeat, do not skip this sales to service handoff, because this is the one that sets you up for success.
I love it. Paul, it's kind of like a Marvel movie. We thought we were done, and then you had another cool scene when they were running the credits. We like that.
That was it.
Paul, we can't thank you enough. I got a suspicion when I review this with Gary and Mike, we're going to invite you back to hear more of your travels and travails. But we can't thank you enough for being here. And everybody out there, sorry if there was any technical difficulties, but as always, we got through it and we had fun.
Hey, Paul, what's your favorite restaurant? Hey, Paul, what's your favorite restaurant in West Hartford?
Ah.
I'm not going to lie. Most of my favorite restaurants are out of state.
Do you have one that you like in West Hartford? The Max's or,
Definitely the Max Group. No, it's not in West Hartford, but it's in Glastonbury, Max Fish.
Okay, I've been there. That's a nice one. All right.
I've been there. Thank you, Paul.
Oh, okay.
Everybody stay healthy.
Gentlemen.
Have a nice weekend.
Love you guys.
Have a good one.